pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the town board meeting, special meeting, October 30th. I have a motion to open up the, so moved. Second,
Can
all
you
in
just,
favor?
did you turn on the speakers for me behind?
I did, it's
You
on.
did?
First item on the agenda is the discussion of introductory law number 10, 2024, amending chapter 80B, subdivision management of the Code of the Town of Goshen to update provisions related to existing facilities. All right, so the last meeting, Kelly, we had some questions that came from Sue. She gave me, I don't have it with me, unfortunately. Do you have what you asked for? You have it? Okay, you got it. So she asked for if there's a way for us to identify this as only existing businesses as of today. And when I texted you, you said you had some questions about that and you would fill us in, so please do.
Yes, so I reviewed the concerns and I watched the video. I understand where, do I need a microphone?
You need a mic?
I hear.
You hear me? I'm good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I can look for Rosemary.
Can you guys hear her?
Yep.
Sue's the furthest, so if you can't hear me, let me know. So I watched the video as well to try and get a better understanding of what the concern was and what changes to potentially make to the law to try and address those, both from the public standpoint, but also from the towns, because there's a reason you're adopting this law and you want to make sure that it addresses that reason. It's being adopted for that. So I did some additional research on the DEC's website, just about the facilities that are in the town. And I did come up with another phrase that I would like to insert into the red line version. It is not what Sue provided, but I think it addresses the concern, which really stemmed around Altury landfill, and we don't want that opened back up somehow by this law and saying, that's okay, they don't have to come back to you, and they don't have to comply with those provisions, because that's not the goal.
Mm-hmm.
So the DEC, they may or may not be considered that they have a permit. So they do have a permit to do some stuff on the property. Are they operating? I would argue no. However, the way the DEC classifies it is as an inactive solid waste landfill. So what I wanted to do was include it in this, which says, with the exception of existing facilities, i.e. those facilities in existence or operation on the effective date of this local law, but also then add, and not currently considered an inactive solid waste landfill by the New York State DEC at the time of the enactment, something like that. So as of the day that you enact it, if there is a facility in the town that is labeled this, which Altury is, it would be specifically excluded. So this would not touch that. And I think that that really got to, at least from the comments that I heard, that issue. So that's kind of solely addressed where we wanted it to be addressed. If you did want that language, I just have to get it to you I'll get it to you in a red line version too, just so that you and the public can see what specifically the changes are to those provisions. But then get you the local law revised to include that 7 days in advance, because obviously I told you before when you were calling this meeting, I apologize I can't make it to your other meetings, but you do need it 7 days in advance for you to be able to act on it. So I'll get that to you if you like that language and you think that it addresses the concerns that you heard.
Any comments from the board, concerns?
Well, I like that, because the L3 landfill, as far as I'm concerned, is one of the most toxic landfills, private state of New York. So, yeah, it's not active.
No, but it does have a permit, which is just
No, I understand
weird.
that.
But frankly, it was a very good catch, and I wanted to make sure.
It doesn't have an active 360 though, correct? It's
No, it's
inactive.
inactive,
Inactive.
right, but I think it was a good
With,
addition to this.
right, so with that, those comments added to the law, now they would definitely have to come back in front of us if they wanted to make that 360 active.
Oh, yeah,
Right.
Okay.
oh, yeah, 100%. So that was the only change that I was recommending to that, and then I didn't know if while I was here, anybody wanted to discuss the draft agreement.
Yeah, Bill had some concerns about that, So relative to tonight, the audience, the residents cannot weigh in on?
Well, tonight isn't a
Understood.
continued public hearing.
Okay.
I know that, when I
I'm just trying
watched
to
it,
facilitate with how far we can get tonight, so that I can avoid having to keep this open the next meeting, I can close it the next meeting, okay?
I mean, you can accept public comment
Yeah,
and
oh,
see
sure.
if there's any additional comment, but know that when you get to your meeting on November 14th, you have to open the public hearing, see if there's any others. And as long as Mary takes down what the public comment is, I don't know that, I'll have all of the answers tonight if there's a specific question, but I can
Well, I mean,
certainly.
Sue posed the question, so I'd at least like to give her the opportunity to
Yeah.
to weigh in on what you're putting in.
Can I weigh in?
What, yeah, by all means.
And thank you, Kelly, for coming to me, and thank you for holding this meeting tonight. It's appreciated. My concern is Algery and RVH, because I don't wanna see them open up. And I do understand it is considered an inactive landfill, inactive as far as waste, but it is active. Just so we're clear on the wording.
That's why I said classified by the New York State DEC. So the
Yeah.
DEC does not consider them active regardless of what they're doing on site in connection with that
Right,
permit.
because there's been laws that have passed as far as active goes. I mean, the town of Goshen used it, for their taxes that fight with the certs against Turi, so.
Yeah, so that's part of the reason that I looked into that, and that's why I said, it was a good catch, and I'd like to make it clear so that we don't.
Yeah,
have
I
to
just
do it.
don't know how that's going to, work for RVH if they do, but I guess that's down the road. There is one other thing that could be brought in, and I'm not trying to take your job or do anything like that. Phil Cantorino had a very good point about recycling the other day. And our code does classify facilities that are recycling. And I believe that DEC, I have a copy here. I don't know if you want to see it.
What does it say, Susan?
Okay, on it, this is from Cornerstone that was handed in this year, about the permit
Right.
that is current for IWS.
Right,
They, are allowed to have, I think it's 600
tons.
tons of municipal solid waste, but they
Right.
also are allowed, the permit also allows the facility to accept single and dual stream, recyclables at a maximum of
70
70
tons.
tons per day, which is,
Okay.
I mean, I think everybody on the board is gonna say recycling is a good thing, because we don't need more waste, and I think it's a good thing.
My next question was gonna be while you're talking, is that the open permit right now that?
At my understanding, it
Okay,
is.
good. Thank you.
And they also do take C and D according to this, they're
Well,
allowed
of course
to.
they do. I know.
Well, the town permit previously, allowed the C and D material.
Anyway, I'm not arguing about
Yeah.
any of that. My suggestion was maybe you could just put, any recycling facilities, that are currently in operation, so hopefully this facility keeps recycling, are exempt from the law. But, you know,
Do you mean, are there any facilities that, sorry, I feel like I'm still talking loud,
Recycle?
so Mary can hear me.
that's okay.
How much do you think I'm like?
The county, the
The
county.
county
yeah.
recycles,
But they
right?
also have the landfill,
Well,
on a
that's
separate parcel.
Yeah, that's a separate parcel. They do recycle, however, they're not in the I district, so, I mean, that's kind of,
Yeah, I think they might actually be exempt.
yeah, the county doesn't have permits, I don't think from.
They're exempt from
They don't have an
the
ADP
DEC.
from us, no, they're exempt.
No, they
Yeah.
have, they can go under
Yeah.
some balancing tests where they would be able to do that, so.
Well, I know they're
But
exempt
they're
from
the only
us.
ones that are recycling, right?
They have a 360. County definitely has a DEC
As
360.
far as I know, they don't. Anyway, it's just a suggestion, I just don't want to see three.
Yeah, no,
Right.
that's,
You're-
I'll repeat it again, I think it was a good
Same page,
suggestion,
yeah.
and
Yeah.
we'll make sure it's
Yeah,
in
that was
there.
good, that was good. Yeah, we're good.
But I'll take a look at this. Yeah, that's.
It would be nice to promote recycling here, I mean, even if IWS comes back in, it would be nice if they would recycle. I know it's more expensive for them, but
A lot of places are actually getting rid of recycling. They say they can either do it with the trash and separate it out or something. My parents live in Florida, they completely got rid of
Yeah.
recycling, and it
But,
was so
uh,
disappointing because, you know.
So what happens is, facilities and areas that get rid of it, they actually have a MRF that, so all the MSW, the mixed MSW goes into the MRF first, everything comes out, and then the organics go out. And don't go into the landfill, everything else goes to a landfill, including recycling. Sad to say it, but that's the way it is, because China's not buying our plastic anymore.
Well,
But 32% of all the municipal waste is still recycled right now, 32%. And as Sue said, and I had said before, that should be increased and not decreased. We should do more recycling if we can.
Yes, so
So-
that actually leads me right into
Yes.
the draft host community benefit agreement, because I
Yep.
saw again that there was a question about the recycling. What I put in the, oops, I just hit enter. Okay, sorry. Changed it, started red lines everywhere, didn't need to do that. What I put in here was just what their request was. It wasn't approving it, so, it talks about what the facility is currently permitted to accept and include in the dual stream recyclables, what they've asked the DEC to accept, and then commencing upon issuance of a solid waste commencing on a thing by this one, a permit by this board, that they shall pay to the town, in addition to all other monies noted in section 1 and the preliminary narrative, a quarterly fee for each ton of municipal solid waste, C&D, and/or recyclables. You are not approving in this what they're doing per ton
Of each.
per day of each.
Correct.
Thank you.
Whatever goes in, regardless of the category, we get $1 per ton.
Yes, so it wasn't limited to that, so they still have to come back before you to ask to change their permit. The DEC can grant them, I'm gonna give drastic examples, okay? So the DEC could grant them 1,000 tons per day, they still need a permit from you. You couldn't grant them then 1,200 tons per day, you could grant them 600. So there is
Right.
that limitation, they have the overarching, and then you come in.
And our permit would supersede the DEC's.
Well, it doesn't supersede, it's in conjunction.
No, let's say the DEC allows them 1,000 tons.
Yeah.
And we at the town board say, no, it's 600 tons.
Then yours is more restrictive, yours would,
Supersede the DEC. I mean,
I know, I don't like
I
the
don't
word
have bad
supersede.
silly words, you know what I'm saying.
I do.
It's very clear.
Would limit what the DEC's permit is. Our permit would limit the DEC's, what it was less.
We issue the permit, the DEC issues their permit,
Yeah.
but they have to comply with our zoning
Yes.
laws. So
Yeah.
I don't care what the DEC says. However, if their permit is less than what we allow, then they have to take less.
right, basically
So
the least
it's pretty
restrictive,
simple.
the most restrictive applies in that
Right,
regard.
right, it's
Yeah.
pretty simple. Now, I've said on our Zoom meetings and a number of meetings, I'm getting exhausted saying that I think they should do 600 tons and keep it just what the DEC permit allowed them. I would like to give them a lot less, but I know we'll lose in court. So my thought is, and I'm only one vote, I understand that, but I made it quite clear that I'm gonna stick with 600 tons plus 70 tons of recyclable. Now, where everybody else goes, I don't know, that's pretty simple. And I won't sign any agreement or vote for any agreement that says anything other than that.
Yeah.
Everybody else
This
will.
doesn't, as I said, this doesn't say
Okay, so
any
we-
of that, it says whatever, you would get $1 per ton.
So we're
No, I
not,
know
we're not
that. I
adding
know
that
that.
in this agreement. This
And you
agreement just
haven't
tells them
got-
what they're paying.
And you haven't gotten a complete application from them, so when they first applied to you, you got a memo from
Right.
Sean, and Sean said, you're missing, A through E that needs to be included
No,
in.
the host agreement does say
No, the
that
host
they have
agreement,
requested,
it's what they've requested from the DEC. So I said, this is what they're requesting from the DEC. The facility is currently permitted to do this. They've requested this in their renewal application. And then number 2 says that in addition to all monies noted in section 1, a quarterly fee for each ton of municipal solid waste, C&D, and/or recyclables.
okay, we understand all of that, Kelly. Let's just cut to the chase. I want to make sure everybody's quite clear. In it, they are requesting 670 tons of municipal waste, or 670 tons. In that agreement, I think it says that they are now getting 600 tons plus 70 tons in the host agreement. I don't care what other agreement the DEC may or may not have. All I'm saying to you here is, I will not grant anything until they agree and sign that agreement that they understand that they're gonna only get 600 tons of municipal waste, including 70 tons of recyclables, and they will pay $1 a ton on everything.
Okay, so
That's pretty simple.
that's very simple.
Okay.
So this agreement doesn't give them approval for any of that. All it says is, this is what they're asking for. It's not saying you're getting that.
Then why are we assigning it, then why would we assign an agreement based on we're not sure how much they're gonna get or what they're gonna get? I don't understand that.
Well,
I think the agreement should be pretty clear. This is what we agreed to.
Well, so I think that's kind of what got my understanding, is that that's kind of what happened and the town got in a bind previously.
That's right.
So, and that happened because the permit was granted before the agreement was
That's
signed.
exactly right.
So that's why the agreement is gonna, the goal is to have the agreement signed before the permit is granted. So that's why it says, this is what they're requesting, not what they're getting.
No, I understand, but the agreement should be what we are advancing, what we are approving.
We can't get to that because they haven't applied for that yet. I think
Yeah,
that's what you're saying.
you can't get to that because they haven't given you a complete application yet.
Well, then there's no host agreement. I don't see why we're talking about anything.
Because they
So
can't
if
come
they
to us
don't-
unless, we won't let them come to us unless they sign the host agreement. We're the one.
But
This is
that-
what happened the last time. That's why we got snookered out of that money.
Oh,
We
no,
gave
no,
them the
no, the
permit.
last time they agreed to the $1 a ton or whatever, and they reneged. No, that's a whole different story.
But they reneged because the planning
Because
board, no, listen,
Good.
I did a lot of research on this.
I-
They reneged
I
because the
lived it.
planning board gave them the permit
Right.
prior to the town board signing the agreement.
That's right, but the town board had worked for 4 months to come to this agreement. And they had agreed long before they got the permit that this is what it would be. When they got the permit, they said, no, we don't have to do any of it. And they stuck it to
And
us.
I think that's
So-
why we're trying to get
so-
this signed
no,
first.
what I wanna say, that's right. I wanna get this host agreement signed, but I want it to be right. I don't want them to be able to come back and say, wait a minute. We asked for 670 tons. There's some confusion here. It wasn't quite stated in the agreement that it's 600 tons plus 70 tons. I'm really getting upset out here. I see the hair on the back of my neck is really starting to go up. Because I don't trust these people.
Would it make you feel better? All right, so two things. First, another reason that this is before, that we want this to be signed before the permit. A,
Yep.
so they don't do the
Yep,
same thing
yeah.
they did last time. B, because within 30 days of signing this, they have to give the town $200,000 in
Right.
an effort to make up for that previously.
That's right.
Would it make you feel better if I put a line in here where it says that they're requesting modification to allow this? Something like,
And the town
please
board
note, the
is,
approval of this agreement does not.
no, I think you should
permit.
state it in there, and the town board is only agreeable to 600 tons of
You
municipal
can't
waste.
say that
They do
yet because you haven't gotten their approval, so
But you-
you haven't gotten their application.
But
So
follow
what-
that thought, because I think that's the
No.
right thought.
So if you say in here, this agreement is not approving any application for this request, that says, we're not approving this. It's
Why
just-
can't we say the 600?
Right,
Yeah.
why can't we say?
I don't
that?
know if when it comes to you as a complete application, if
No, no.
something is modified.
No, we just tell
No,
them, when you put
this
your
is it.
application in, put in for 600, don't put for 670.
Absolutely, we're gonna tell them, this is all the town board will agree to, period. They will either sign it or
That's
they
what I
won't.
think we ought to do.
So 600 with the 70 of recyclable.
No,
Yeah.
600 plus
Plus
70,
70.
plus
Yeah.
70 tons of
They're
recycling.
looking to,
Just like the DEC permit states, and has stated.
Well, so the DEC permit, they're requesting a modification of, so.
Fine, I don't
The
care about
DEC
that.
permit may say something different, so I just wanna be clear. in
Doesn't
that.
and
matter.
I'm not sure they're gonna get that modification change, because the DEC is still pushing for recycling.
And that's
I mean,
why
that makes sense.
that's why I wanna make it crystal clear, because I don't want them coming back and saying, well, listen, we applied to the DEC, we told you what we were gonna do, we wanted you to change it from 70 tons of recycling to additional it says it in the agreement, this is what we're asking for, we asked the DEC, they approved it, now the town board is being arbitrary or
So the
whatever,
only-
and sue us.
The only concern I have with that is by saying that you would agree to 600, you have not completed seeker to be able to make that determination and to make that.
Well, you can say if all approvals, the seeker approval or whatever, however you're gonna frame it. However, all I'm saying to you is when the agreement is done, before they get their permit, the agreement needs to be signed and they need to understand what the town board is allowing them to take in. If it's the same as the DEC, fine. If the DEC says less, that's even better. But if the DEC gives them 670 tons and not worry about the recycling, I'm not in agreement with that. Phil, not the rest of the board.
Okay.
So, however you get it to it, but I don't have the agreement in front of me, but if you read the agreement that they're willing to sign, it indicates that we are agreeing to allow them to take
No.
670
It
tons.
doesn't
Yeah.
say that.
No.
It
I
says
said-
that's what they're
no,
asking for.
It gives the impression that we're allowing them to do that. We'll go on with the rest of the meeting.
So while we have a break in the action, we had great talk about C and D too. And you were, Phil, you were the one that brought that up,
I did.
about the questioning of whether or not we even want any kind of CD waste.
Yeah, what's interesting is that their, my understanding of their current request is that they're not asking for C and
No,
D
they're not,
anymore.
actually,
So
no.
then that would be removed from their permit.
Yes, but it's in the proposal here.
That's what their current application has with,
Right.
but their new application is they're looking to get rid of the 30 tons that they have of C and D because they do not take C and D into this facility. It's strictly an MSW transfer station.
Yes.
Which would be good.
Yeah.
But you know what, I think their initial application did say C and D, but I think that further
This-
discussion said that they didn't, so that's part of the problem with not having a complete application, so let me just write up.
No, go ahead.
language.
Go right ahead, sure.
Why would they ask for no recycling? I don't understand why they would get rid of that. Is there a reason behind that, or?
Because most recycling is going to a landfill right now, because there's no offtake for plastics anymore. Nobody's buying plastic. So it's cheaper to just put it into a landfill at a $42 cost per ton than it is to try to get rid of it.
It says, IW is requesting a renewal and modification of the facility's town permit to allow the facility to accept a daily maximum capacity of 670 tons of MSW and C&D debris.
Yes, that's.
They're
their
asking
C&D.
for that in this agreement. I want to specifically say, we're not in agreement with that, period. I
They're
mean,
not
and then it
asking for
says
it
the
in this-
facility is currently permitted by the state environmental conservation to accept 600 tons of C&D debris and up to 70 tons dual stream recyclables. IWS has requested the DEC solid waste facility permit renewal application that the 70 tons of recyclable be converted. So they're already asking the DEC
Yep.
to do something that we're not agreeing to do. So why are we wasting their time and money?
Well, they can do whatever they want with the DEC. Our ADB restricts them to do what we tell them they can do.
Exactly, but
So
what I'm
let's
saying
not
to
argue
you.
what they're doing with the
No,
DEC.
No, wait, it's not an argument. What I'm saying to you is, it's very misleading. If they said to us, listen, if you weren't gonna do it, why would you go along with us requesting the DEC and doing all of this?
But you're
We
not
re-
going along
We
with them.
requested they're requesting it from us in this agreement.
But Phil,
We
does
need
that
to tell them
say-
in the agreement, no,
It says that they're asking for it. Does it say in there that you're giving it to them?
no.
Exactly.
But it's saying, I'm saying now, we're not giving it to them. Now, I don't want to encourage them to go to the DEC and ask for a permit that the town won't
They've
agree
already
to.
gone to
They've
the
already
DEC.
gone to.
Well,
They've already
fine,
filed- they've
then we
already
need
filed.
to stop the process so they don't waste more money.
They
And
already-
then
you
come
can't-
back
Phil,
and sue us.
Phil, they
They
already
cannot
have,
come
they already
back
have
and
this
sue you for
permit.
that.
They've had it for 5 years.
What, 670
Yeah, that's what they're
tons?
producing right now in that facility.
Well,
Yes.
they're doing it illegally then.
You
Because
cannot
they're not
challenge what the
complying.
DEC
Wait
has
a minute, they're not complying with the DEC. They're doing it, you're telling me they're taking 670 tons of C&D and municipal waste?
No, they're taking what their permit, what their current permit says, 600 tons of MSW, 70 tons of recycling.
And that's all I want to continue.
Okay, I got you.
I mean, this is all
What I'm
pretty
trying to say to
simple.
you.
I can't understand.
I got you.
I don't understand the disconnect, because I can change it from saying they are requesting this and then add something in and saying that this is not approved.
Right.
Herein.
Or could you add something to this that says, IWS is requesting renewal and modification of facilities permit to allow the facility to accept the daily maximum capacity of 670 tons of MSW and C estate. And then put something in there to the effect that this community host agreement is not the approval process. They have to come back to us for approval on that.
Yes, that this, what, so I was
This
trying
is
to
just
write-
basically, whatever you give us, whatever you get approved next time, you're paying us $1.
That's,
No,
all of
I
this is.
understand that. Then if that was the case, they could take all that verbiage out and say, whatever tonnage you take, give us $1. But
Well,
we are specifically signaling
Phil-
out the fact that they're requesting an additional 70 tons of municipal.
What I was trying to
CND
do was
waste.
give some history to the project
Right.
because it got dropped
I understand.
back then, so this is the history. So what I can add
I want to be
is,
clear on this.
this agreement does not constitute a Chapter 80B permit to operate from the town of Goshen and does not approve IWS's application for such
Well,
permit.
I want to be able to put something in there that the town is agreeable to the the original 600.
Phil, I don't think that you can do that because you
Okay.
haven't gone through the process, so I don't think that can go in here, but
Okay.
this is, I can say instead of they are requesting to, they have submitted an application
Yeah.
for, something like that, maybe so it's less of a sounding of give and take, maybe?
No, I want to be crystal clear with these people.
Priscilla,
Yeah.
blame him if you missed the game, not me. Just want to be clear on that.
I'll stop.
Hang on, she's got a half an hour, it starts at 8, right?
All right. Well, anyway, you know where I'm going.
So if it
Work it
now
out
says-
however you're gonna work it out for when we vote on this thing.
IWS has submitted an application for the renewal and modification, blah, 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 blah. This agreement does not, and I'll make this part sound a little prettier, but it doesn't constitute a Chapter 80B permit to operate, and it doesn't approve their application for such permit. I might actually switch those.
However you do it,
But just so that it's clear that you can ask for it, but that's not saying you're getting it.
that's fine.
But regardless, you're gonna pay us $1 for whatever we
That's
do
fine.
give you.
Then they can sign the agreement and we'll sign that agreement, that's fine.
Let me just check the other paragraph to see.
I'm sorry to be such a thickhead, but I just,
Hey, you know what?
I have history
Why I'm
with
here
these
tonight,
people.
to make the changes so that
Yeah.
you guys feel comfortable and it addresses your comments. Let me just check really quick to see if there's anything else. I'll probably then also add something in that paragraph too, where they're paying us $1, so that it's clear that it's $1 for whatever the town of Goshen approves in its Chapter 80B permit. Okay. Actually, let me make a note about that before I say I'm gonna do it, and I don't.
and really, we should notify these people, in all fairness to them, that at least one member of the town board is not in agreement to comply with their request. That's
all?
me. With their request of the additional
Oh,
70
okay.
tons of, I mean,
I'll
in fairness
defer
to
the
them,
supervisor.
we should tell them, listen,
That's for another meeting when they come in for their special permit.
no, I understand that, but they can be prepared that there's at least one town board member.
Oh, I'm
that's
sure,
not in
I'm
agreement.
sure they're all watching it right now.
Well, I hope so, I hope so, because they were not good neighbors.
Again, Phil,
I know.
we do have to stop saying that because IWS was not the original applicant.
Yes, they
in
were,
this.
they're still operating. The original people that sold it to IWS are still operating
wrong.
something on Hartley Road.
No.
Go into Google and look at the website.
No,
It says they're
remember that
currently
The
operating.
people that came in here were Northern Recycling.
Right,
They signed the deal with Northern, well, we signed the deal, never executed the deal with Northern Recycling. Northern Recycling sold to Waste Management. Waste Management basically was the one that thumbed us off. Waste Management then sold to IWS, Action Carting.
Right.
Action Carting and IWS have nothing to do with those other two entities. So they're here actually
Well,
negotiating a
Northern
good thing.
Recycling, Northern is still operating.
But not
The
there.
original people, yeah, on Hartley Road.
No, they're
Yeah,
not.
well. then they
Just
better
'cause
take down
Google
their
says that.
They better take down their website because it's current.
Yeah, well, I mean, you know.
Yeah. All right,
But
well-
they're not operating there. You can go over there, IWS is there. I've been there multiple times already. I
I
mean,
didn't
I
see it on the
think-
DEC's website, Northern Recycling.
Yeah.
Well, just go in there and ask. and they'll tell you they're operating at that particular location, both of them.
Who?
Unless Northern Recycling is out of business.
Yeah, they're gone, they're done.
Okay, well,
They don't have a
Well-
DEC permit anymore.
They have Yelp reviews, but that doesn't.
they have what?
Yelp reviews.
You know, the food company is giving reviews
No,
on garbage.
No. There's somebody operating it on Hartley Road. I thought it's.
I wonder if they
it
just
is.
didn't take the sign down ever. We should
It's-
probably have
It's
Frank.
very
on.
possible, but, and they didn't take the website off then.
I
think
think
they
I'll pull it next time. What?
Last, if I remember correctly, Northern Recycling owned the parking lot where everybody parks across the.
Oh, across the street, they own the parking lot, they own the property across the street, they didn't sell that.
I believe so.
So they still own that?
They own the parking lot that they.
Okay,
Right.
all right. Well, they are there, I know that, because their website is still on. All right, well.
Bill, you good?
I'm good unless anybody has any questions, so, but just so that it's clear now that I'm being recorded and I didn't notice. I will be getting you the revisions, I'll probably do them both at the same time, I'll send them to Mary and the town board, and 7 days before your next meeting, hopefully before then, but you'll get both of them, yeah, so you'll get them by the.
We have time, next meeting's 14th, right?
The 14th,
Yeah,
yeah.
because I just, like I said, I wanna make a couple that sound a little prettier, but get to the same
Just
point.
get to the point, that's all.
I know, but when it gets to the point and it's not pretty, I want it to sound pretty. So I'll address the concerns, that way it's clear in both locations in the agreement, and to address the concerns that were raised by the public in the draft that you have. And I'll get you an updated red line version of that entire section of the law, again, so you can see it in context, but your law will just be the changes.
Okay.
Thank you.
Did you have any other questions on it, or is that?
Well, it's not for you, but I just had one other, I guess, maybe minor, but I wouldn't be bringing it up as minor, so my mind is major. All of the fees, your attorney's fees, and all of that are being charged back to IWS, and I just.
Under this agreement,
Right,
so.
as it says in the
Yep.
agreement.
Right.
So I just hope that, you know, for the record. I
It's
don't-
hitting,
Yeah.
it's hitting their escrow, yes.
Yeah.
That is what I'm
Yeah.
writing it down for,
Yeah.
so.
And part of my, I want to be fair to them, so they know where we're going.
Yeah,
You know,
understand.
I just don't want any surprises at that particular point, that's all.
Rick, Doug, anything?
Nope.
Or see, you stuck to your guns, I'm making changes.
And then the last item on the agenda, which I'm not even sure Mary's gonna talk about, because I don't even know anything about it. Review and approve the event permit for Gregory Case.
Yeah, it came up last week, they're filming a movie in Warwick. But part of the road, Big Island Road, is actually in the town of Goshen. So I asked them to apply for a permit through the town. And we're gonna give them 2 police officers for the 6th, 7th, and 8th, I think. It should be a short span of time, but I just wanted to cover our tracks and make sure we had their insurance.
And they'll reimburse us for the police officers.
Yes.
and so-
Well,
Yes.
yeah, they're gonna give us the hourly for it and $200 for closing the road, and that brings up another topic that we will talk about at the next meeting. But I got a call from the Warwick supervisor, Jesse Dwyer, who his board has, voted on and approved increasing any filming of closing roads to $5,000 a day. And they signed it, and they're paying it. So, something that I'd like this board to take into consideration, because there is a lot of filming around here, it does affect us, and that's above and beyond paying our police. So, it'll be on the next agenda.
I was concerned at closing the road to see if there was another access for the local people, but Mary told me that Warwick is closing their
Yeah.
end, so it doesn't make any difference.
No, Big Island will be completely closed.
Yeah, yeah.
Local traffic, for anybody that lives on there, will be able to get in, but it
Yeah.
will be a through pass.
Yeah, so.
All right, so,
Just need a motion.
can I have a motion to approve the event permit?
So moved.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
All right. So just a note, there's no action will be taken at this meeting, and the public hearing will continue on November 14th. So can I have a motion to,
Is that going to be okay with IWA and the planning board? Are they gonna have enough time to do?
So the planning board is done. One of the conditions of the planning board's resolution was to get an updated ADB permit. So that's, the planning board is done, they're trying to satisfy those conditions and are doing that by coming to you.
I know
IWS?
we held this meeting so that they wouldn't do any violation of the planning board or the time limitations. Are they okay with that based on us holding this meeting tonight? Because we didn't take any action.
Yes, they're gonna be fine. They should be happy that this meeting occurred. because
what's the
otherwise it would
process?
be
What's the
unfair.
process now? We approve this at the next meeting,
The next, the
then they
process-
immediately come in for the special permit from us?
Yeah, so the way I see it playing out is, this is on your agenda for the next meeting, you hear any additional comments that there may be, you close the public hearing, you adopt the local law as modified that you'll have. Then my guess is, well, I know that they're preparing their modifications based on Sean's memo. I don't know if they're ready. I would think that they should be ready by now. It's been like 6 months.
Yeah.
So hopefully they'll come in soon with their application and ask for you to deem it complete. But when it comes in, Sean and I will review it, and there's a very specific timeline set forth in your code as to when certain things have to happen once the application is deemed complete. So that's like the biggest step.
So now they're going to sign this agreement that we have, that we discussed, the signed agreement, and it won't specify the actual tonnage that we are going to permit.
Correct.
Is there going to be another agreement that has to be signed after this one?
No. So you would then, this will say,
Okay,
for whatever amount the town of Goshen allows you under the ADB permit, you're
Okay.
paying $1.
okay,
And then your ADB permit will say they're being allowed for, this much.
okay.
So that way they should be in conjunction with each other. I'll ask Mary to put them in the same file together,
Okay,
scan and email them so they're forever in our grounds.
okay.
Fingers crossed.
Glue there, right?
Yeah. She's gonna glue it to the floor of the office. I don't know.
Oh, yeah,
So, whenever this is actually, signed by us, okay by us, the $200,000, before they come before us to get any kind of approvals, I wanna see the $200,000 check cashed in our bank.
Well,
So they have-
they only have 30 days.
I know.
Yeah, they have 30
They may be
days.
coming.
Yeah, they can come on the 24th, they can come on the 20th day, even if they
Yeah.
haven't paid it. We're not gonna approve it, so.
Right.
Yeah.
There, that is gonna be in your bank account before any action is taken by you to approve any application.
okay.
And that's one of the main things we wanted to, get. Yeah.
All right. Anything else? No? Can I get a motion to close the special town board meeting on October 30th? Second, all in favor? Aye.